I never had fun in the first person shooter for a while. I mean, the much fun I had. So yeah, go and get it. Just play some classic first person shooting, which I get the feeling that other games are not going to follow Resistance 3's trend, because I bet Resistance 3 is probably going to be considered as the black sheep of the series for some reason. Probably because it just doesn't have the regenerating health, which I just fucking hate. I hated it when they changed Resistance 2 to this Call of Duty knockoff, that you can only carry 2 weapons at the same time, and you have regenerating health, and the enemies were cheap. I remember Resistance 2 being hugely difficult. Even on normal, they were like cheap. I think they were hard because they were cheap, but also they were just difficult at the same time as well. There was like a difficulty, but also there was just cheap. Resistance 1, actually, you were able to carry like 10 guns at the same time, and you didn't have true regenerating health. I think you did have regenerating health, but it was in 4 blocks, and when each block is gone, you can't regenerate that block. As long as it's still got a bit of health in it, it can regenerate, which was later stolen by Medal of Honor. Not Medal of Honor 2010, and I mean Airborne. So yeah, Resistance 3, buy it! What are you waiting for? Actually, I don't really like. One thing I don't like is the multiplayer. And lastly, gone for quite a while, haven't I? Lastly, I've not completed this game yet. Is Rage. I wasn't hyped for Rage. I didn't really care much for Rage. I actually didn't watch much for Rage. I thought, okay, it's another apocalyptic shooter like Fallout, like this, like that. What do I say about this? I actually do like the world you're in. It just seems to be, even though it's an apocalyptic world, but it just became apocalyptic in a different way. It wasn't by nuclear fallout, it's by an asteroid. And it just looks, it actually, just to let you know, the world looks amazing. It just looks really detailed. It wasn't technically impressive, but artistically it was incredible. And that's what it is. The game isn't technically impressive, but artistically it was impressive. The characters sort of move realistically. They have amazing facial expressions, their limbs, and how they fight in combat. They move amazingly. So it's a really good looking game. And I think the only thing is there isn't really much of a story. You're a guy who's just woke up from the Ark. You've been placed in the world. Go and do shit, and that's it. Okay, there's a little bit of a story, but it's got something to do with the authority. But that isn't until much later on in the game, which I think it's when you leave the first wasteland area. Which, this is the thing, I don't really see this as an RPG. I think this plays more of a shooter with small RPG elements. If you want to think about first-person RPG, Fallout comes to my mind. Free and Vegas, they're true RPGs in my mind. And I actually think, even though I said Deus Ex was more of an action game with RPG element, but Deus Ex Human Revolution is more of an RPG than Rage. Rage doesn't really have that much RPG element. I don't know why I would call it an RPG, because as I said, it's not much of an RPG. It's more of a first-person shooter with small RPG elements. And of course, the characters are mute. I kind of find it pointless that that sort of thing. What's the point keeping them mute? Because as it's not really an RPG, but you're not building a character. You're not building a character like you did in Fallout. So you might as well just make him talk, give him a personality. I'm like, why not? But just to let you know, I actually do like Rage. I don't love it, but I like it. It kind of throws me back to those old first-person shows like Doom and Quake. I know this from the same people who did them, but it feels really fast paced. And I quite like it actually. It's a lot more fast paced, and it just reminds me of old shooters. But my problems with it is, I don't know why the Wasteland is not one huge area like Fallout, because that, to me, that will make the world more alive. To me, at least, it will make it more alive. Have this huge world and just explore it at my will, like I did in Fallout. I don't want this to be completely like Fallout, because it's not completely like Fallout. There's a huge difference between the two. As I said, how they became apocalyptic is a huge difference, and Rage is more Western themed than anything else. And of course, Fallout didn't have apocalypse since the 60s or 70s, where this takes place like in modern times. Yeah, as I said, I would prefer if it was a huge wasteland instead of, I believe there was 3 separate wastelands, but I wanted one huge one. And the buggy, I actually wish it was just one buggy. I've got 3 buggies at the moment, but that's the thing. I kind of wanted to be like what is it? To be put in more RPG sort of terms, I kind of want to put it in more like Wing Commander Privateer, where you have your own ship. It's a piece of crap, but you bought the weapons, you repaired it, you're carrying cargo, you paid the petrol for it, but it's yours. It's your companion, and that's what I kind of want from the buggy. It's to be my companion, where I upgrade it. I take love and care to the buggy, give it new armor, give it new wheels, new engines, and so on. But it just feels kind of cheap in there. I don't really hate the buggy mechanics. I would just prefer to have the one buggy and customize that to my will, which I actually felt I would have more. I would actually have more connection to the buggy. More, this is my one true companion, the only thing I can trust, and the one thing I truly need. But as I said, you just get 3 buggies, and it's just kind of spoiled that for me. But I wouldn't call Rage bad, because you can wait for it to drop down in price. I don't think you really customize your guns that much, or you get any upgrade. But I said I don't think it's need. But if it's the game wants to be more of an RPG, I'm like, why not add a skill tree system in it or something? So I'm a bit confused with that. And sometimes you revisit some areas in the wasteland as well, or in the wastelands, which kind of makes us, I don't know, some reason I just don't like it when I revisit them. It kind of makes the wasteland small, which isn't actually that, I wouldn't call it extremely large. There's actually times when it feels large, but yeah, again, when you go back to an area, you're thinking, oh, this is small. So it gives you a sense of it's large, and then it takes it away and it says, oh god, it makes it small now. And you can't really travel the terrain like you did well, it's not really calling itself an RPG here. It's explosive first-person shooting gunplay. Wait, 3 ways to play. Oh wait, this is cool. Sorry, the game is not really selling itself as an RPG. It's usually the reviewers are showing us an RPG, but it's got RPG elements in it. But I would have preferred it. I would prefer it was more sandbox, like a huge wasteland and just one buggy. I don't know if there's any other games where you might have a vehicle of some kind and it's only one, but you take love and tender care to it. But I'm sure there is another one. But it's kind of I like that sort of thing. I want the buggy to be my own personal vehicle, which I upgrade, and take care of it. But I don't hate Rage. I actually do like it. It's a very fun shooter. But I just wish I had just had one buggy, and the Wasteland was just one huge, expansive world. And I just wish the character fucking talked, because as I said, there's no point making him a mute character if you're not going to create him in any sort of way in RPG terms. I mean, it's okay to have RPG elements, but once again, it's not calling itself an RPG. I keep forgetting this. I blame the reviews I read about this, because they keep, for some reason they keep wanting to call it an RPG, even though it's not. So hold on, sorry about that. That's my fault. And the game is not really selling itself as an RPG. It's more selling itself as a first-person shooter. But as I said, one buggy and one huge, expansive wasteland. I would have preferred. That's pretty much it. I've talked quite a while, actually. I just wanted to talk about those games and see what anyone else thinks about it, about the games I just talked about. Because I'm not calling them bad. I think I'm only calling Space Marine boring, and Gears of War 3 not as good as 2, and the Love for Resistance 3. There's nothing really else to talk about. As I said, I'll get the voting thing. I'll get the Halloween vote up soon enough. And I don't think there's anything else to talk about. Actually, there is. I kind of been having thoughts, because this year I actually watched quite a lot of anime, and a lot of it was really fucking awful, and I actually want to rant on about them. Do reviews saying why is this shit and such, but not all of them were bad. There were some good ones, but I don't know if I should really go through this. I know I have subscribers who watch anime and such, so I don't know if I should really talk about this or do reviews of this. There are some I want to point out. This one's shit, and here's why. I really don't know how to go on with it, but don't know. If you will actually like that, then to say I would actually go and do it. But yeah, there's a lot of crap anime I watch. Where's the good stuff gone? I wonder. But anyway, I'll leave it there. So I hope you. I'll see you then. I'll see you for my other Let's Plays, and I'll get my Halloween vote up as well. See you soon.